Fucking him.
Oh, okay. I'm going to mute that person. Okay, welcome to week 2 iteration of financial awareness with Clinton Hill Community Action. And our host is Cash Latif Holland, the financial boss. Okay, thank you so much for being here. South Ward, we appreciate you. Clinton Hill Community Action appreciates you. Clinton Hill action.org is our website. So if you want to know more about Clinton Hill Community Action, you can certainly go to our website at clintonhillaction.org. My name is Renata Whitaker. I'm the project manager here. And I'm so glad to present to you week 2 of our financial awareness series, tapping into financial resources. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Cash, our host for the evening. Y'all clap it up, snap it up, snap it up.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining again. And for those who are here for the first week, welcome. So let's go ahead and get started, right? Again, let me just thank Clinton Hill Community Action for asking me to come and help empower the community, which is something that I love to do. One of the things, or the thing that we're going to be focusing on this evening, is tapping into financial resources. So give me one moment. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for you so that you guys could get this useful information. Let me know when you see it. Can you guys see my screen yet?
It's loading.
Loading.
Okay. Let me know when it's up.
It's
Oh,
up.
it's up. Awesome. All right. So this is our topic for today: tapping into financial resources. And some of the things that we're going to talk about, as was mentioned, is how we can get some assistance, especially during this time of COVID. So we spoke about last week how to budget during a crisis. We are still in the midst of a crisis. From what I hear, the numbers have still gone up, so we don't really know what's going to happen. So fortunately, there have been some financial resources that are available to us that we're going to talk about this evening. Pardon me, and I apologize for those who were here last week and have heard my whole spiel, but I need to go through it because there's some people who don't really know me. So, yes, my name is Kashem Latif Holland. Most people just call me Cash, so feel free to do so. I'm the founder and executive director of Financial Boss. Financial Boss is a nonprofit organization whereby we instruct individuals in the matters of financial literacy as well as money management. And the goal and mission of the company is to not only educate but also empower and edify the community again in these matters. And so, just a little bit about me: I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I realized at a younger age that I was a habitual spender, and I still currently am, actually. And so, what happened is, while living out in New York, which is extremely expensive, what I figured out is that I did not want to curtail any of my other spending, but I could save money on rent. And so, needless to say, I moved across the water to New Jersey in 2011. And once I came out here, I realized that I did need to change some other things. And although I was saving just a bit of my finances now because of my geographical location, that I still needed to do some other things. From a young age, I was extremely mathematically inclined. And so I decided to go to Essex County College. I obtained my associate's degree in accounting because I have been doing taxes for quite some time as well. And along the way, though, I realized that I just was not fascinated with numbers, but that I really needed to learn how to manage my money because that was my problem. I never had a problem with making money. I had a problem with where I spent it, how I spent it, and why I spent it. And so I did decide to go ahead and pursue my bachelor's at Montclair State University. And my background is in technology. So I received my bachelor's in management of information technology, data analytics, and I minored in entrepreneurship. And why I mention all that is because during my coursework for my bachelor's, as a part of my entrepreneurship journey, I needed to bring a company from inception to fruition. And that's how Financial Boss was actually born and birthed, is because I realized that although by this point in my life, I had gotten a handle on my personal finances, how much better it would have been if I learned at a younger age. So primarily Financial Boss has curriculum for children as young as 5 years old. We instruct a lot of the kids within the community. I got a chance to work with Renatha earlier this summer with the Summer Youth Employment Program. But in addition to that, it's important that our entire community, adults also, get this useful knowledge. So although the company was founded in 2017, last year in 2019 is where it really took a turn, and I began to do more within the company. And so, here I am, here we are, and we're going to go ahead and get started, right? And so again, what we're talking about is the financial resources. Just so you guys know, for those who don't know me or who haven't been at one of my workshops, weren't here last week. So this is not I talk, you listen type of deal. It's extremely engaging, right? I'm gonna ask you guys some questions. I'm gonna look for you to participate, right? Because I want to make sure that you're understanding. And if you do have any questions for me in the meantime, please let me know. Okay. So let's first start off. Like, we're talking about financial resources, but what are financial resources? You guys tell me. It's free. You're free to unmute yourself. I just ask that if you do have some background noise, then go ahead and stay muted. But let's engage, right? What does the words financial resources, what does that mean to you?
To me,
Budgeting.
hello? I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Who's that? Tanisha?
Yeah, I was saying budgeting, the way you spending your money.
Right? Who else was
And
saying something?
I
yeah,
would
somebody.
say the resources are how you receive your money, and
Right.
then how you then dictate it out.
Exactly. Good, Letitia. And so that's what it is. It's money and assistance that's available to us. And it's to help. That's the purpose of it, right? Just like you said, like it's the things that we receive in order to be able to promote success,
Mhm.
right? To operate efficiently and sufficiently well in order for our success. And so that's what we're going to talk about. And it comes in different forms and fashion, right? Depending on what particular assistance we need, either as an individual or as an organization. And so that's what we're going to go into. And so what is available? The things that we're going to talk about today are like unemployment. We're going to go into rental assistance as well as utility assistance. We're also going to talk about small business loans and business grants. Okay. So those are the things that we're going to cover tonight. We got started a little late. I don't want to run through it, but let me just let you know, just up front, you will receive a copy of the slide deck. I do still encourage you to take any notes. And please, if you have any questions, to also let me know. Okay. So we're going to go through this. So first, we're going to start out with the unemployment. Pretty much what I wanted to do is let you guys know of, if you did not know certain things, I wanted to provide you the information. But in addition to that, I want you to be looking out for certain things. So first and foremost, I wanted to give you the website in case you do not have it. There are also 3 numbers that you can reach unemployment. I also wanted to put on here that if you have not already applied, you are still eligible and able to apply for the pandemic unemployment assistance. It is available until the end of the year, until December 25th. So if you were unemployed throughout this time due to COVID, you are still able to file for unemployment, right? And what one of the other things, if you notice, that I put on there is to be patient, right? So many of the people have been saying that they're calling, and you may not actually speak to a person directly because of the fact that there are so many people that are trying to get unemployment, or that calling for status or whatever it is. Go ahead and apply. You will get back to you. So usually it's taking anywhere from 1 to 2 months, sometimes longer than that. But again, if you start the process, then you'll be able to receive it at some point. Okay. So I really wanted to make sure I mentioned that, because some people thought that when the pandemic unemployment insurance, or the PUA that they've been calling it, that it's ended. It has not. So I also do not want you to confuse it with that extra $600 that was being given out a couple of months ago. So that portion of it has ended. Okay. So they are no longer giving out that additional 600 for those amount of weeks. That is not something that you would probably receive, but you still are able to at least apply, right? And then in addition to that, when you do actually go ahead and apply, you'll be actually able to, it can be backdated. So say you applied now, right? And you actually stop working in April, that will be recorded. That's one of the questions that's going to be asked of you. Okay. So I want you to make sure that you are completely honest, of course, and transparent, and to make sure that you tell this useful information so that it can start and your unemployment will be documented from the date that it needs to be. Okay. The last bullet point that I mentioned is that there's something through that's called the lost wages, excuse me, supplemental assistance, and it's actually being provided by FEMA. And so what they did is it's similar to that extra $600 in there, and that there were extra funds that were allocated in order to, for certain people who qualify it for, where they have the potential of getting about $300 per week. Notice that I put the you don't have to, like, if you do apply, you did not have to take any action towards it. It would automatically kick in if you were eligible. One of the things that the person had to do in order to be eligible is that they had at least had to be receiving $100 in benefits already. And in addition to that, it was only between August 1st and September 5th. So it was like a total of 6 weeks. And if eligible, the person would receive this lump sum payment that should be dropping like this week of $1,800. It's not going to continue. It was only for this particular point in time. And in addition to that, once the funds are exhausted, it would no longer continue. Okay. Any questions from anybody? No, no. Okay, good. Moving right along. Um, Down here, what I wanted to do is just give you some information as to what is needed in order to file. So these are some of the things that you would need. Of course, your personal identification. You would need to know your most recent work history and experience. It helps if you have dates. Okay. You also need, of course, your social security number, the dates of employment and address that will match up with your file or your employment file. These are the things that will actually be needed in order to file a claim. And so please have those things readily available when you do the claim, because if not, you're not going to be able to proceed. Okay. All right. Next, let's get into rental assistance, right? And there's a lot of things that is available right now that I kind of want you guys to take note of. And so what I'm basically going to do, and what I did here, is I detailed each one, gave a bit of a description, and I also gave any links or anything like that, any information in order for you guys to have, right? So first and foremost is temporary rental assistance, which is TRA, and that's provided by Essex County Welfare Department. I did provide the number there. And what it is, and what they've been doing and assisting, is that it is a payment that's given in order to prevent homelessness when the person is facing eviction and they need to actually stay in their home. And so what happens is that you would apply, right, with all of your paperwork. You would be able to apply, and based on whatever is owed and based on also what needs to be paid, then this temporary rental assistance would be provided. And again, please keep in mind, as in the name, temporary. It's a temporary amount of time. Usually it is up to 18 months. There are sometimes when there are extenuating circumstances where it will go beyond that. But traditionally it's about 18 months. And again, if you get in contact with the actual welfare department, they will be able to help you, help you better. They are taking applications always, even though not in person. However, if you do call them, you will be able to do an application over the phone. Okay, so if anyone is is not able to pay their rent for whatever reason, then this would be one of the resources that is available to you. Even now, because we're going to get into the moratorium and what exactly that means as far as eviction, but as far as this is concerned, even now, in the midst of the pandemic, you are still able to tap into this resource. Okay. Um, Another resource that is provided through Catholic Charities of Newark is the Homelessness Prevention Program. And this is exactly what it says. It is to prevent homelessness. Some of the things, depending again on your personal situation, some of the things that they could possibly assist with are the rental arrears up to 3 months, utility payments up to 2 months, and also relocation. They'll pay the security deposit up to a month and a half and 1 month forward, which is extremely useful, right? See, because even though there are some who may be in a certain location and are not able to be evicted at this particular point in time, that does not mean that they don't want to relocate or it's not necessary. And so again, I provided Catholic Charities number because same thing, and I'll go ahead and put that up now, is this documentation would still be needed, but it is on a case by case basis. But those are some of the things that are definitely available to you. In any case, you will always need your proof of either, if you are facing homelessness, it would be a statement from your landlord saying that, you are in arrears and how much is owed. In addition to that, you would always need your personal identification, proof of address. So, of course, your lease or some type of statement from your landlord, income verification, because that is another thing. So, one thing with the homelessness prevention program is they'll pay a certain amount, but they want to know that you can support it after. So it's a little bit different because with TRA, they don't it's only temporary and it's only going to be for a certain amount of time anyway. So they don't require that you show them and prove that you are going to be able to support yourself after it. However, with the homelessness prevention program, you need to prove that. You need to show that you are going to have an income. You need to show that you're going through something right now, but going forward, let's say that you're relocating and the rent is now going to be $1,000. You need to prove that you are going to be able to pay that after they assist you with this couple of months or just to get into the place. Okay. So that's what the rental sustainability is. Um, Ebony, I see you asked a question. So with relocation out of state, Catholic Charities does not usually assist with that. It is usually local. Okay. And one of the reasons is because they do go through it like an inspection. And so it needs to be local in order for them to do the relocation. Okay. All right. And so now let's talk about the Corona Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Anybody hear of that? Anybody get an email? Um, Nothing like that. NJ.com. You guys hear that? No? Okay. So what it basically is it was specifically set up in Essex County, this rental assistance program. And what it does is it allows for if you have owed any money, the arrears from March until now, and also if you need help in paying your rent till the end of the year, till December, then this is something that you could apply for, right? And so um one of the things that I wanted to do is just provide you guys with the link. Um, because I wanted you to be able, for one, let me let you know now when you click on or when you type in the link, because you guys are not you'll probably be able to click on it when it's sent to you virtually also. But if you're not able to click on it, when you actually go to the link, you will see that it's a news article. I want you guys to please read the article. Okay. Read the article so that you know exactly. It's about $5.5 million that has been allocated to assist with the rental assistance and within this program. But as a part of this newsletter, when you read into it, there is going to be a link, or maybe about halfway down, that says program portal. What you're going to need to do is click on that program portal link, and it's going to take you into a portal, it's neighborhood portal. You'll need to set up some information in order for them to identify you, and like your set up a actual user ID with your email address and a password, of course. And then you'll be able to go on and apply for the rental assistance. It again, I implore you to have your information and everything with you. So one of the things, or some of the things that they're going to ask you, they're not necessarily going to ask you for identification, but they will ask you for if you are employed, right? So if you're employed, or if you are going to have employment for the next 12 months, they're going to ask that you substantiate that and that you list that in the application. And so one of the things to actually support that will be your pay stubs. So that is something that you are definitely going to need. You may also need a verification letter from your employer stating when you started, and when you get paid, and perhaps even your salary at that particular point in time. Something else that you may also need is if they want to know if you are going to have any assets, like a bank account, checking account, if you have life insurance, any of that. And again, anything that you list in this in this application, you will need to have the paperwork to document it. Okay, so I encourage you guys to go ahead. If this is something that you need to apply for, the deadline is the 23rd. Okay, so again, it was launched by Essex County. The application deadline is in 3 days. So I would definitely encourage you to go ahead and apply, look through it, get through it, and apply for it. If you're able to, if you're in this situation where either you have had arrears from March, or you need assistance going forward to the end of the year, because that's what the actual program was set up for. Okay. Any questions? No,
Yes, I'm
Yep.
sorry.
No problem.
Okay, not really a question, but I'm just stating a fact. I work for Essex County Welfare Department,
Hmm.
and that phone number really works for no one. I'm sure I have a phone number, but I don't want to give it out on here. I would give it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if to the people that need it, because I could possibly give it to someone that would actually call them back and help.
Okay. I've
Oh,
had,
okay. That's even
I
better.
mean, if you have another number, that's fine. I've actually been able to reach people on this number, and
On that number,
supervisors on this number.
everybody tells me I can read, just in it because I'm from here.
Hmm.
So people know I work there. They'll stop me. Oh, whatever they
Yeah.
say, and I help them. I help anybody. I'll help
Gotcha.
anybody. I have absolutely no problem with that.
No, I
So
definitely appreciate it. If you have a better number, I haven't had a issue
Mhm.
though. Because I'm actually helping some other individuals who are going through the process, and I've been able to reach supervisors on this line and everything.
really,
Yeah, the only difficulty that I have is after a certain time. So after maybe about 2:30, no. But at about 10 in the
but
morning,
in the morning,
yep,
everybody that I know, and I've never called, I work there, so I've never
yeah,
called the number. You know
right.
what I'm saying? But everybody tells me that number because I was giving it out, and everybody, no, that number is BS. No.
Well, if you could definitely, yeah, if you could forward me another number that
Okay.
that
Yes, I will.
definitely works, so that at least someone would have an option, then that
Right.
would be great. Thank you so much.
And for people that's actually in this Zoom, they can forward you. Just all I need is a name and a phone number to call them back. That's
Okay.
all.
Oh, okay.
That's
All
all.
right.
A name and a phone number. That's it.
All right. Sounds
No
great.
case number, none of that. Just a name and a phone number.
All right.
Thank you
Sounds
so
good.
much. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Sounds good. That's what I'm talking. That's a
Mhm.
resource right
All
there.
right. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Can you receive assistance even if you don't live in North, like East Orange, for the
Yep.
COVID
So
relief?
with so what it would and my apologies because I did kind of center this for Newark, but yes you can. There is a Catholic Charities in East Orange. Also, with the Essex County Welfare Department, it covers the South Clinton, which is in East Orange. So that's the number that's supposed to be to the South Clinton in East Orange. That's the number, or that's the one that's we've been calling. So yes, you would be able to tap into that. And again, as I mentioned, with the rental assistance program, it was launched by Essex County, and so that's something that you would also be able to take advantage of. Anybody else?
Nope.
No, no. Okay. Oh, you said, I'm sorry, who says that? Naya, Catholic Charities moved to 47 Miller. Okay. They're still in Newark, though. Yeah. I checked and just made sure that their number was still there, but I knew that they were moving. I wasn't sure of the most recent address. So thank you so much because I had some outdated information.
I have a question.
Yes.
I was receiving them, but they cut me off, and I reapplied all over again, and I haven't heard anything from them. It just keeps saying that someone is looking over my case.
Mm-hmm. Or saying
And
that it's pending.
yeah, I've been out of work for a minute because of the pandemic, and now that I'm 5 months pregnant and I have asthma real bad, I definitely can't go back to work.
Right. So you apply for TRA
No, I applied for assistance.
for emergency assistance with everything, I'm assuming.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what I would definitely encourage is that we'll kind of get together. Let's talk offline, right?
Okay.
And probably I'll probably like get your information to Letitia if that's okay.
Yes.
Because again, that's something that it would just have to be pulling up your particular status and what's going on. Just to let you know, though, there are some things that are behind. So the spiel or the typical thing that's told you is like 10 or 7 to 10 days, 10 to 14 days. Sometimes it takes a bit longer. So I don't know
Okay.
how it's been, but we could definitely handle that, on a one-on-one basis. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
No problem. Anybody else?
Mhm.
No. All right, awesome. Let's move on. Rental assistance. We're gonna continue, right? So this is the part that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay. Everybody you guys know how to raise your hand virtually? Raise your hand, thumbs up or something.
Yeah.
Right. So who has heard of this moratorium? Eviction or lockout moratorium. Anybody heard
Yeah.
of it? Yes?
Yeah. I
Mhm.
did. Yeah.
Right. Okay. What have you heard about it?
They saying they wasn't going to evict anyone.
Right. That's it?
That's all I heard.
Okay. Any Galaxy A20. Who's that? Were you raising your hand that you heard? I don't know who Galaxy A20 is. Not sure. Okay. There we go. Hello. Right. Pronounce your name. Naya?
Shamar.
Oh, Shamar. Hey, Shamar. So you were raising your hand to say something, or were you just saying that you had heard of this moratorium?
I heard him.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, everybody basically knows that landlords are not able to evict you, right?
Mhm.
That's what we've all heard. So what I want to tell you guys is what you didn't hear. Okay? Because I do believe that at the same time of us listening to certain things, that sometimes we need to listen to the things that are not really being openly said. Okay?
Mhm. Still
So
holding it.
right, so so there's always gonna be something that's said out front, and I like to listen to the things that are not being said. So this was just a quick list of some of the things that I want you guys to really remember as far as this rental thing is concerned. So yes, you are correct. With the eviction and lockout moratorium, no tenant may be removed from their home, right?
Right.
The moratorium though does not affect the rent due, right? Okay, see, so although you can't be kicked out, you still owe your rent. And that's something that was never actually said verbally when this was discussed. Okay, so it also does not stop court proceedings, right? It prevents the lockouts and the removals, but at currently the Supreme Court, they control, of course, the court proceedings. They're suspended for now, but please keep in mind that your landlord can file for eviction. They just cannot be granted and cannot actually put you out currently. Okay, big thing that I want you to remember though, rent is still due, because I think that was something that needed to be blatantly overtly said, no, you cannot be put out because of non-payment, you cannot be evicted. That does not mean that you do not still owe your rent. Your rent is still due. So I would definitely encourage that if you are able to pay it, please pay your rent. See, because as of currently, there's been an order that was signed to where this particular moratorium, it expires 2 months after the pandemic has stopped. That's what how it's written right now. So let's say everything is called off now and everything's good, and we are, we get news that we are no longer in the midst of a pandemic, and now we're in October. Then that means that that order would expire 2 months after, bringing us into December. When the moratorium expires, for those landlords who have already filed and for those tenants who have not paid their rent, they will be evicted legally when the courts open. Okay. So it's extremely important that that you have this information, and in addition to that, that you pass it on, right? Because yes, everybody knows, and we stick to this fact, like everybody is in unison. You can't be put out of your home. That's right. Not now, but if you continue not to pay your rent, I promise you that you will be. Okay. So please, go ahead, pay your rent if you're able to. Again, take advantage of some of the other things that we talked about. Give a call to Essex County Welfare. Call Catholic Charities, see what else is available. Go ahead and apply to, if you need the rental assistance for this emergency program that's been available to us, or that is now available to us. Do all that you can in order to pay the rent, because the rent is still owed to your landlord. Period. The debt has not been canceled. It's just, you just are not able to be penalized, or there's no consequences currently. The debt is still owed. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Want to say something? Nope. Moving right along. So let's get into utilities. Everybody good on the rental aspect though?
Yep.
Yeah, good deal. So let's go ahead and move into utilities. A lot of information, right? We're gonna break it down though. So, again, what I did is I wanted to give you all of the options that you had, because everyone has different situations, have different needs. Okay, some are homeowners, some are those who are renting. So I wanted to give you a holistic view of everything that's available to you. Right. First and foremost is LI Heat. I also provided their number. We have their email address, and please know that they have started accepting applications again as of October 1st. Okay. And so what they actually do is they help pay for the heating costs and, cooling costs for medically necessary items. In addition to that, even if your heating cost is included in the rent, you may also be eligible. And I think that that's really important, because some people feel that, even though they don't separately pay utilities, that they're not eligible. That is not always the case. All right. In order to qualify, you just have to have a gross income that is equal to or less than 200% of the poverty level. And what that basically equals out to right now for one person is you have to be making less than, I think, 1,300 and something per month. Right. And then it goes up, depending on the amount of people that you have in your household. So that is something that I definitely want you guys to take advantage of. If you have not applied, please go to this website and apply. Even if you don't know if you're eligible, go ahead and apply. It takes nothing to do so. Right along with that is the USF. And so they're similar, but the only thing difference is it makes, so with USF, they actually make it more affordable for your utilities. And the difference, like you said, like I mentioned, there is the difference in income. Right, that's really what it is. It's the same application though, at energyassistance.nj.gov. Okay, very same, the same application. You will be applying for both LI Heap and also for USF at the same time in the same app. Okay, so please go ahead and apply for it to see if you're eligible. Again, one of the things that they will definitely need from you is you'll have to have your address. You know, you'll definitely have to have, if you have a separate utility bill, then you will need to, of course, have that information. If not, then you would need to, show them documentation, perhaps in your lease, showing that, your heating cost or whatever is included in your rent. Paris, did you have a comment, question?
I did. Good evening. Good evening. How are
Good
you?
evening. I'm well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good. Thank you. No, it was more like uh, a comment. Just wanted to also note that with USF, that's once you're approved for it, that's for the whole year.
Right.
Like money goes towards it for the whole year. And as soon as they put it out there, any and everybody that can should jump on it and apply for it.
Most definitely. And you can apply on a continuous basis. Every year you can be awarded this.
Yes,
So don't just think.
and also even and I apologize. Also,
You good?
even if it makes it a little bit easier too, because if you get some kind of assistance now, usually they do it through assistance too.
Right. Right. And they'll continue to assist you. Like
Right.
usually
USF has been my a couple of times. So.
a couple of years ago they were like at the end of it they would just send a check for heating expenses at the end of the year or the end of the season, right before the next time to apply. So I would definitely encourage you guys to go ahead and apply.
I have a
Hanifa?
question.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm because when you're dealing with medical issues, if you have devices, I was trying to get information on that about like heart devices and stuff like that that needs to be plugged in at all times.
Right.
Dealing with sex, yeah.
And so that's one of the things that that would fall under the medically necessary expense. And that's definitely something that you would need to mention to them, right? And so yes, that is always a provision. So if there are any type of, like you mentioned, oxygen, heart monitors, that will be documented on your file. So what happens is that even if usually you're able to be entered into the program, but even if not, then you will not have to worry about your utilities going off, because it will be documented on your file that you have something that, a medically necessary machine or item in your household, to where you can never lose power. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. That's what I was
Okay.
the answer I was looking for. All right.
Shamar, you had a question?
Coughed.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right. And so what I wanted to also provide you guys, has everybody heard of La Casa de Don Pedro?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes.
why I wanted to list them and their website is
Absolutely.
because if you have any difficulty or anything, you can apply. They will help you apply for anything that you need. Okay, so they're extremely good resource. They have an office on Roseville, I think that's Roseville Avenue in Newark, North Newark. So they can also assist. They have their own separate program as well, but one of the things that they do is they assist with this application process. Okay. All right. Cool. So next I wanted to get into New Jersey Shares. New Jersey Shares, it stands for New Jersey Statewide Heating Assistance and Referral Energy Service. And what this is for, remember we mentioned the cap, your income, right? See, so let's say you're making a little bit more and you're above the poverty level, so to speak. New Jersey Shares is for those who don't qualify for the other federal or state programs like LI HEAP or USF. And so they're able to apply for New Jersey Shares, and you would go straight to their website. The difference is that there's a maximum grant of $700, but you still are able to get the assistance you need based on your income. So I listed their phone number as well as their website. And so in addition to that would be for those who are older individuals, 65 or older, or they're actually receiving like SSD, SSI, and they have a lower income, then it's called Lifeline Program, which is New Jersey Save. And again, they do all of these organizations and companies, right? They all do primarily the same thing. Again, they are to assist with deferring the cost of your utility expense. Okay, the difference, like I mentioned here in like the brief description, is who can apply, who is eligible for it, and can take advantage of which. And so depending on you, depending on your age, depending on your income and your personal information, I provided the information so that you know which ones that you can actually apply for. Okay. Lastly, I wanted to mention the PSE&G worry-free plans, which we actually talked about last week a bit. And that's just the link. The link is gonna take you to the website, which lists all of the plans that they have. So as a part of PSE&G, they have this worry-free plan. It could be for your appliances. It could actually be for a portion of your utilities. Again, it's detailed on their website as to which one would apply for you personally. And so I wanted to just provide you with the information as well as their number so that you could call and get more information. I think we were speaking last week, maybe Paris, and you were saying that you have coverage for your utilities and you pay like $6 or $7 a month, but it defers the cost because if something happens to the refrigerator or the stove, now you don't have to come out of pocket $1,000 or $1,200. They'll cover the expense for free. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Not
Paris?
me. I think Tanisha was actually saying something about it.
Was
But,
Tanisha doing it?
I actually.
No, someone else said they was saying that
Yeah, somebody else
someone else.
said
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
I did. Ramona said it.
But
It's
I
worry-free
did. I
contract.
got my.
Oh,
I was
Ramona.
able
Yeah.
to
Okay.
get my
Sorry about that. Okay, Ramona. What were you saying, Paris?
Ramona. To tell my landlord about it, so she got.
Okay, got you. That's what it was. Okay, so Ramona, thank you so much for that information. I went on and added it so that everybody else could benefit from it also. So if you, I would definitely encourage everybody to take advantage of that. Please make the phone call so that you are able to actually, get this and receive it, right? And if it works for you, it works for you. Either way, like you have the information, you have it available to you. And in addition to that, like it's not just for, like if you're renting, you can also pass this information on to your landlord. Because again, it would be beneficial, right? At the end of it, it's going to benefit you because if something happens to your stove, right? In the apartment that you're in, and now the landlord has to replace it, it may take a little bit longer, don't you think, than if he already has this coverage
It does.
and now he has to, as opposed to just calling them and having it done by the end of the week. If he has to come out of pocket $1,000, how long you think it's going to take your landlord?
Like it did me, 3
The best
months.
thing to do is make sure your landlord knows about it.
Exactly. See, so this is exactly what what we want to avail even our landlords or anybody else who we're dealing with, again, because it's going to be beneficial to us though, right? Even if we're not actually the homeowner. All right. And again, La Casa de Don Pedro, right? Last but not least, I really want to get into the business loans and grants. And this was just a couple of things that I wanted to mention to you guys and different websites. So
Get you out of phone.
let's see. With SBA, many of you, have you heard of like the EIDL loan? It was right around the time when they were doing like the PPP loan and different things of that nature. For anyone who has businesses, who has their own business, this is extremely advantageous because EIDL loan has actually been opened up again and extended. This is the second time that they've actually extended it. So now the deadline is not until the 31st of this month. And so that could be extremely beneficial for funding for your small business. NAV is also another place that they give excellent rates for small business loans. And then, of course, your local bank. You could also look into the state of New Jersey and government loans or govloans.gov. So why I encourage those is because of the fact that depending, especially govloans.gov, depending on the
Hey, I'm
industry.
sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
Cash. Hey, if you're not responding to a question, please mute your phone. Thank you so much.
Okay. So with these particular loans, right? No matter what the industry you're in, you can look up by industry and figure out what loan applies for you. So there are some loans that are specifically for those in hairstyling or hair industry, barbershops, hair salons, things of that nature. There are others who are specifically for women-owned businesses, right? See, so that's an extremely great resource for anyone who is looking to get funding for their company or for their small business. Please look into those. In addition to everything else like we talked about, you always need your personal identification. But for the business aspect and for this business loan, you definitely need the application. You want also your resume. If you have any business plans, that is something that is going to be required. You're always going to need financial statements, and we're going to go into that more on Saturday when we follow up with this conversation Saturday morning. Is where I'm going to have different to show you what each financial statement looks like, what exactly they tell about your company, because these are some of the things that when you're applying for a loan or even when you're applying for a grant, they are going to want to know. They want to know what money you have already been having. They want to know where that money has been going before they give you their money, right? So those are things that you would need in addition to like income tax statement. Your credit report is extremely important as well. Okay. And now I wanted to get into, there is a particular grant that is going on right now that I encourage anybody. Do we, well, first off, let's we have any business owners in here? Raise your hand for me. Do a clap, something, thumbs up. Anybody have a small business? Anybody looking to start a small business? Anything like that?
I am.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So for this particular
Yeah.
grant, they actually, the NJEDA, they started out a small business grant before, and so now they actually opened another one, which is phase three, and the funding was more specifically for restaurants and micro businesses, but they've allocated $70 million in order to do so. So if there is anyone who would like to take advantage of this, you have to pre-register for it, which is the first link. It opened up yesterday morning at 9 o'clock. The deadline will be the 27th of this month at 5 p.m. You must pre-register to even be considered. But for more detailed information, what I would encourage you to do is jump on and register for the information session. The info session is being sponsored by Invest Newark, and NGEDA will actually be there and giving all the information that needs to in order for anybody who is looking to get funding through this particular grant. And that's going to be on Thursday at 10 a.m. from 10 to 11. Okay. Again, you guys are going to get a copy of all these slides, and so you'll have all the information readily available for you. Last but not least, I wanted to go into this part, which is basically to determine your eligibility. And I think that that's extremely important because for us to apply for anything, we need to first know if it is something that we're eligible for, or we're just wasting our time. And so these are some of the resources to find out if you're eligible. It's a screening process. And then the last link that I put on there is a grant resource book. And so again, this is going to help you tap into any money that is specifically for your sector, whether it's a nonprofit organization, whether you're in education, no matter what it is, you'll be able to look in this particular resource book online, and you'll be able to see if you qualify and what loans you will qualify for, what grants you can apply for, and that's always advantageous in order to get funding for your business. So see if you qualify and then apply. But these are the resources that you need to actually see if you are eligible and if you qualify. Last but not least, I wanted to go into basically the money right here in Newark. So has anybody heard about the 40 acres and the mule fund started by
Of course.
Mayor Ras Baraka?
Yes. Yes,
Yes, no, maybe
yes,
so.
for sure.
Hey, we're almost at
That's
time.
a
I just
good
want to do a
program.
time check. Is it okay that we go a few more minutes longer? Is that okay, everybody? Just thumbs up.
Combat.
That's
Let me
fine
know.
for me.
Good. Everybody
Yeah,
good?
y'all see it.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay. It's to combat the economic inequality, right? We know this already, that businesses and people of color, there is such a huge wealth gap between the amount of money and that business owners are able to have, the net worth of Black and Latinx business owners in comparison to their competitors. And so this particular fund was set up in order to assist that and fund these individuals of color. So it has just started. The goal is to reach $100 million, and I felt it definitely necessary to mention this. And what I want you guys to do, which I mentioned their name earlier, is go to investnewark.org. They have a newsletter. Please sign up for it. Okay, because for anything going on with the city of Newark, especially, they're the ones that you want to get the information from. Okay, they have a newsletter. Everything is listed on their website, so I would definitely encourage you to go to their website. It always has updated information also. So as of right now, no, there's no application or anything for this particular fund, but it is soon to come. Okay, and so I wanted to give you the information in case you didn't have it, so that you can keep up with it, so that if this is something that you need assistance in, and that's something that you would like to apply for, that you'll be one of the first people who are available to do that. All right. We're gonna go ahead and end it out. And what I want you guys to do is just some do's and don'ts, right? Read the requirements and eligibility carefully. And so we went into a lot of things that, even with the utilities, right? If you are not 65 or older, then, you know that you can't apply for New Jersey Save, right? If you are eligible for federal and state funding, then you would not be applying for New Jersey Share, right? And vice versa. So please read the requirements, the eligibility carefully. Have all your paperwork in order also. And like I mentioned, we're going to follow up with that on Saturday as to what specific paperwork you would need and what would be beneficial to get your point across, and that you would have readily available for any of the applications that you want to apply for. Also, I would encourage you visit newarknj.gov, because it has a wealth of information and for nothing else. And I want you guys to go ahead and continue to visit it, because again, anything that's going on in the city is going to be listed there. All right. Don't apply for just anything and everything. Be specific, be targeted. Don't waste your time or theirs. Right. Because like personally, if I apply for a grant that is not for nonprofit organizations, I have wasted an email train. I have wasted all gathering all my paperwork, all the back and forth and everything, just for at the end of it for them to say that nonprofits are not able to apply. So if I know this beforehand, then I could I could be very streamlined and targeted and purposeful in what I'm doing, right? Don't rush through it. Take your time. Meet the deadline though. So again, there were certain deadlines that I mentioned, whether it's for the idle loan is at the end of the month, or for the emergency assistance, which is coming up in a couple of days. Don't wait to the last minute. Like, about it now. That was the purpose in doing this, and making this information available to you, so that you have time to gather your information and you have time to plan this out, so that you don't have to rush through it. All right. And do not be discouraged. Again, it's with a lot of these things, it's a weight game. I was privileged to be able to get a grant of some technology equipment. The grant was awarded in July. I still haven't received the items, but I am thankful and grateful to have been one of the ones chosen to receive. So don't be discouraged. Be patient. Okay. Um. So now I have some tasks for you guys. Okay, especially for those who are going to join us on Saturday. And even if you're not, please do these things. I want you guys to apply for any assistance that you may need. Even if you think that maybe you don't need it, apply for it anyway. Okay. And in addition to that, for those who are seeking any grant or loans, I want you to go check out the resource book. I want you to go to the screening website and determine if you're eligible, right? The first thing you need to know is if you're eligible, because if not, then there's no reason to go through all the extra, so you need to know what the requirements are, what the eligibility is. If you are determined to be eligible, apply. Okay. All right. So Saturday, I invite you guys back. This Saturday, which is October 24th, between 10:30 and 11:30, what we're going to be doing is walking through the application process that we talked about. I'm going to be showing you examples of some of the documents that you would need. And we're also going to get into detail, like how do you prepare for the next steps, whatever your next steps are. So on Saturdays, after we do this, the Tuesday, what we basically do is a deeper dive. So if there are any particular specific information that you need, I ask that you come, bring your questions, ask me whatever you need to, so that we could kind of work through it. If you've been stumped on something, if you need some assistance, then we'll get a chance to do that on Saturday. Okay. And I would like, if possible, at the bottom, there's a link. Financial Boss does a monthly newsletter called the Boss Report. If you guys could, please go ahead and sign up. So that you could get all this information. There's some other things that I'm going to be including in the newsletter for this month and going forward towards the end of the year. So if you guys could sign up, that would be great. And this is all my contact information. So like some of the people we spoke about is, if you guys need to reach me or would like to specifically do a one-on-one, please reach out to me by email. You can also like, share, and follow on social media. I have a group on Facebook, and I'm always reachable. So I definitely encourage you guys to come back on Saturday for us to dive deeper into this particular topic with our financial resources. But also next week, Tuesday, is our final session at 6:30, and then we're going to be talking about how we go from surviving to thriving. So I thank you guys all for being here. Appreciate for you listening and taking your time on this great Tuesday evening. And again, thank you so much to Clinton Hill for asking me to do this.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cash. Let's clap it up for Cash. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Oh,
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Awesome as always. Again, like Cash said, this Saturday, we're going to be reminding you about the deep dive from today. So make sure you log in on Saturday at 10:30. Okay. And next week, going from surviving to thriving next Tuesday, 6:30. You do not want to miss it. Don't go anywhere yet. Listen, I have a quick poll for you. We just want to see how we're doing, get a temperature check. It's a quick poll. I'm going to put it up for you. A few questions. They're yes and no. You don't have to type anything. Just go ahead and do this poll for us so that we can see how we're doing. We appreciate you for being here. Okay, so hang on just a second. Okay, Kateen, because it was logged in and out and I switched hosts, the poll is now inactive. Kateen, can you try to upload it again, or we want to do it on Saturday?
Yep, Keisha, just try to make me the host right quick. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
People, they'll just manage it themselves. That's what we've seen happen, and it's inevitable that we're going to see this growth.
All right, can you see it? Is the poll on the screen?
No.
Yes, it's on the screen. Workshop evaluation is on the screen.
Okay. All right. If everyone else can see it, go ahead and participate in the poll.
First question is, please rate today's session. We got one person, two people have filled it out. Just click on the screen. Please rate today's session. Not as helpful, somewhat helpful, pretty helpful, very helpful. There we go. We got people coming in. Would you recommend this workshop to others? Yes, no, maybe. What did you find most helpful? Select on
Okay,
the
yeah, I finished mine. Yeah, I did mine. This time.
Okay. Thank you
It's
so
not
much.
showing up for me.
I did
Well,
mine.
I can't see it, but yes, I will.
Okay, great. We'll just take everybody who can see it. If you can't see it, don't worry about it. If you can, just go ahead and fill out the quick 4 questions.
Our biggest industry, one of our biggest industries. People here get it, but it does make it hard.
Hold it open for 1 more minute.
As Dr. Fauci is right about so many things. He's not right about everything. We're following the science.
We'll hold it open for 1 more minute.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, Rebel, what's your name? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Ramona Timmons.
Ramona. Okay. Hey, Ramona. That's our friend. Hey, Ramona.
Hey.
Okay. Awesome.
I was a little late today.
It's okay. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Testing strategies. And
Right. Thank you, everybody, for filling out the survey.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Tonight we are finished. Woohoo! We got through week 2. Okay. If you were in week 1 and week 2, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Yes. All right. Excellent. 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 Appreciate you for being here. Saturday's gonna be the bomb again. Okay, and guess what? We want you to bring someone with you. Okay, bring someone with you. And if you have not given me your cell phone number, please send it to me in the chat privately. Give it to me in the chat privately so I can have it. I'm going to say good night, everybody. Good night. If you have not sent me your cell phone number, do it before you leave, though. But everyone else can go. Do it before you leave. But everyone else can go. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Yay, yay.
Good night, all.
All right. Good night.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good night,
Your number.
Good night. Y'all have
Send
a
me your
good night.
number.
Good night, Cash. Thank you again.
Good night. You're welcome. See you Saturday.
Oh, Lordy.
Existing conditions, pressure,
Okay. Awesome. Letitia, did you have something? You got to unmute yourself.
Okay, all right. Can you tell me how, because, okay, I have Zoom meetings for work, but I usually use the code and, the passcode. So what I'm on now is completely different than my Zoom app.
Okay. Hold on a second.
So,
let me just officially close up Facebook.
Okay.
Oh, I can't. Oh, Katim, you have to stop. Yep. Okay, go ahead, Letitia. What were you saying?
Okay, so I don't know how to send a message. I went to the page, it's not showing me how to send a message. This is I just went on what Keisha sent me. I didn't go through the Zoom because I didn't have the ID, and all that. Usually my Zoom meetings are, with the ID and all that.
You gotta put the ID number. Yeah. It's just another way to be able to log in. You can do either one. So we have an ID number and a password, but we gave you the direct link. So you can do either one. It's not, it's no wrong way to do it.
Okay, but on here, I don't know how to send a message. Because I wanted to, send you my contact information.
Yes. So are you on a computer?
No, I'm on my phone right now.
Yep. So tap the screen. Tap the screen.
Okay.
Do you see anything at the bottom, like the?
Yep. It says share video.
Yep. Do you see anything that say more? Go to more. You see more? It should be. You should be able to chat.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it.
Oh my God.
All right, no worries. You all right?
I ain't want to disconnect because it says disconnect more. So I ain't want to disconnect. So
no. You okay?
Oh, okay. All right.
And thank you so much for being a resource. Appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely.
I just didn't want to get a number just in case somebody at my job like, oh, what the fuck is you doing?
Oh Lord. Oh, language, Letitia. Language.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. All right.